Well, several of you have demanded, and I have come through and answered. A couple of my folks have been like, hey, Llama, what do you think is the best banknotes to start a collection with? Well, let me know. And I've actually come up with a top five. And I think they're pretty good suggestions on how to get your banknote collection started at a reasonable price. Knowing me, I'm incredibly cheap. Today we're going to start out with Japan. And the reason we're starting with Japan, okay, during World War II, as you know, they got a little nuts, but that just means there's a lot of notes out there from all the different territories and all the different stuff, everything that went on. They have old banknotes, they have new banknotes, every price range you could possibly imagine. You can get some Japan for cheap. You can get some newer ones, older ones. Why is there Saudi Arabia in the middle of the Japan search? I don't, eBay, I just, getting sidetracked. eBay search sometimes is a little creative, but, you can really get some pretty cool banknotes. Old ones and new ones, depending on what you like, with different colors and niftiness. The price ranges are all over the place. So, starting with Japan, you really can't go wrong. You can get something neat for cheap. Look, here's an entire lot for like $4.99. We're looking at sold items, by the way. So this is what they sell for, you know. So give you an idea of the kind of money you're working with. Not really a lot in some cases. So there's that. The next one is a West African franc. These are the ones that these have sold for. And the reason why I've chosen the West African franc is because if you're starting out as a collector, you're going to want as many countries as you possibly can as fast as possible. And when you have the West African franc, you have Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, Mali, Burkina Faso, Benin, Niger, and Guinea Bissau. That's seven countries that use the West African franc. I know. So you got seven things to check off with one banknote. That's that's a deal. You know what I'm saying? And look, you can get the 500 current one for what's like $5 with shipping. I mean, yeah, hey, that's not bad. Good solid banknote. I did incidentally when I went through here, I chose one from Asia, one from Africa, one from South America, Australia, and then one from Europe. So this list is pretty spread out. But this is number two, West African franc. Next one is Ecuador. The reason why I chose Ecuador is because they don't actually they use the American dollar right now. That's what I'm trying to say. And so what you buy, they're not going to make any more, you know. And right now the prices are still reasonable. Like an entire set for $21 by they're only going to go up because, like I said, they're on the American dollar right now. Ecuador doesn't make their own paper money, so if you buy old stuff like this, um, it'll only be collectible. You know what I'm saying? And they got some pretty cool looking banknotes too. So I think Ecuador is probably a good choice. Added to the fact that they're just so darn cheap right now, you can get them for a song. I think when did they switch over to the American dollar? Was it like, I want to say it was the late '90s. So it's been a while. So I don't know. I just think this is a good choice for somebody starting out. The next one is Australia. And what I'm doing here is something interesting because you can still get these for relatively cheap. Do you know what this is? The 1988. Australia actually invented the polymer banknote, and you can actually get polymer banknotes for relatively cheap online. These are only going to go up, folks. This is the first polymer banknote ever made on planet Earth. The Australians created it. If you can find yourself a 1988 Australia polymer banknote, you should get that because yeah, this is gonna be somebody's gonna have a stack of these somewhere and be able to retire in like 100 years. You know, right now, like I said, they're pretty reasonable, but I would, if you can, find yourself one of those because um, every collector on the planet is going to want one at some point, and they are running low. They're getting a little high. The price on these keeps rising. While they're still reasonable, you should go after it. But yeah, I would definitely recommend for somebody starting out make make this a priority. Last but not least, we have the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which no longer exists. A common misconception is banknotes from World War II are worth something. Well, they're really not. Although this one is, holy cow, $1,300. Huh. But yeah, you can get the Austro-Hungarian Empire for a song. They're all over the place, all over the internet for cheap. Um, Most people don't know how cheap they are. So, you know, I think they're a pretty good addition to your collection. Some of them are a little high, but you know, you get a stack of 25 for 128 bucks. You know, keep a few, sell the rest. Yeah, you know, I can find stacks of them on this website. I don't know why there's stamps in here too, but yeah, I would look up Austro-Hungarian Empire. When did they dissolve? I think it was the end of World War One. So that would have been 1918. Yeah, because 1918 is the last series. So I mean, look at this. You can get history over 100 years old for like $9. Come on, seriously. That's I think that's a good deal. So I don't know. You can get look at this stack. You can get how many of them? 27 pieces. Wow. Okay. But yeah. So this is my number 5 of the list. Again, in case you want to write it down, I'll go through them. We have Japan here, which will give you lots of variety and lots of different price points. We have the West African franc, which you can never go wrong with. And it's it's kind of funny. A lot of the old French money has under penalty of law, you must not copy or things like that. All the French banknotes from back then have that on them. They do not want you to copy stuff. Anyway, next was Ecuador, which will only get more rare as time progresses because they don't make money anymore. Then you have the Australian polymer Aborigine banknote, which is something you need to get. Just get that. Just stop what you're doing and get it now. And you have the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which just a cool factor, an old factor. You got them both going on. But anyway, this has been the Llama. I hope you enjoyed this video. I found it interesting, so that's why I made it. And one of you asked, so I was like, all right. So have a wonderful day. This has been Llama, and I am out. Thank you for stopping by today to watch this video. Please do all the YouTuber stuff like liking and sharing and subscribing. And most importantly, have an absolutely wonderful day.